Hi, Mario.
Okay.
16.
Look at my background.
I like it. I like it.
It's the blast from today.
No, I like it. So Rabbi Yochanan Omer Ein Elokem Mishum David Lav Shem B'Maisa. We talked about if you leave over, you make a shvua that I'm not going to eat a loaf of bread.
I have to answer a call. 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
I'm sorry, I have a little emergency.
That's okay. Take care of it.
No, it's done.
Okay. So we said that if you take a shvua that you're not going to eat a loaf of bread. So if you go ahead and spend the whole day and you don't eat the whole loaf of bread, you said you're going to eat the loaf of bread. You don't eat it. So that's, you didn't really do an action. You just sat you sat and you didn't eat it. So you don't get malchus for that because it's a lav that has no action. We're on Tet Zayin Amud Aleph. Rish Lakish Omer Ein Elokim Mishum Davi Asra Sefek. A different reason. You cannot give him a warning because at any moment he can decide to eat it. And he has time the whole day to decide to eat it. So the warning, normally you say, oh, don't shoot this guy. And then he goes ahead and shoots him. So you gave him a warning. But here you say, you took a shvua that you're going to eat this loaf of bread. And he doesn't eat it, but 5 minutes later he can eat it. 10 minutes later he can eat it. So the warning is what's called a hasra suffix. Since it's not a full hasra, because he can rectify it at any time. And normally hasra has to be done right before he does the act, called hasra suffix lo shmasra. So they both agree that he doesn't get malchus for this, but the reasoning why he doesn't get malchus, they argue. The tarvayu alibid Rav Yehuda. Both are going like Rav Yehuda de Tanya. By the Korban Pesach, it says, "V'lo sosrim mimenu ad boker." Don't leave over any of the meat until the morning. But it gives you an asay. V'hanosar mimenu ad boker be'esh tisrof. Whatever is left over, burn it. Bo'akos of litein asay, achar lo tasay. The Torah gave us a lava nitik lasay to tell us loy mashein loikin Allah. Div Rabbi Yehuda. And Rabbi Yochanan dai kachi. Rabbi Yochanan makes the following deduction. Taima, the reason why he doesn't get malchus, Shabo Kosuv, because the Torah gave us an assay afterwards. If the Torah had not given us an assay, Halobo Kosuv, I like it. Even though this is similar to a case where it says, I take a shvur that I'm going to eat this loaf of bread this day, and he goes the whole day, he doesn't eat it. Well, the asra, because he has the whole day to eat it. Well, here, the same thing, he has the whole night to burn it. And yet, you get malchus. Alma hasra suffix, shma asra. If it wasn't for the pasuk giving an asay, he would have gotten malchus. So this goes against what Reish Lakish said, that a hasra suffix doesn't give you malchus. Here you get malchus, even though it's hasra suffix. How does Reish Lakish respond? Reish Lakish dai kachi. time of Shabbat Kotsu, the reason he doesn't get Malchus is because the Torah gave us Naseh. Halobo Kotsu Vayaloke Alma Lav Shein B'Maisa Lokilam. He deduces the other thing. He wants to show here that even though this is a lav that has no action, you just sat, you didn't burn it, you didn't eat it, you didn't do anything, yet you get Malchus. I've Reish Lakish, Havare Asra Safik. It doesn't Reish Lakish accept the fact that this is Hasra Safik. So Sarvalach Kedichtana, the Rav Yehuda. He holds of a different Rav Yehuda, the Tanya, someone who a woman got divorced, and she didn't wait 3 months before she married somebody else. She got pregnant, and a child was born. And we don't know if it's the son of the first husband or the second husband. Hika Zev, Chazer v'Hika Zev. If this son struck in sequential fashion the two fathers, or Kilel Zev, Chazer v'Kilel Zev, or he cursed one after another, or Hika Shneim v'Vasachas, or he struck them both at the same time, or Kilo Shneim v'Vasachas, or cursed them both at the same time, Chayiv, because of Makio Makala. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, I'm teaching right now. I'll have to call you back. Rabbi Yehuda distinguishes the cases. If you strike these two fathers b'vasachas chayiv, but b'zechar zeh potter, because it's a hasra suffix. We don't know which one is the true father. Rav Yechanami avade lav shei b'maisahu, that leaving something over until the morning, until it becomes noiser, was a lav that didn't have an action. Why didn't he say also that this is an example of a lav shein b'maisa that you get malchus for it? Because sofer lo ki hai de Rav Yidi bar Rav 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 Yitzchak Rav Yochanan, that Rav Yehuda Omer Mishum Rav Yossi Agvuli kol lo sasei shebetorah, every lav. So lav sheish b'maisa loikin lav. If the lav has an action, you get malchus. Lav shein b'maisa ain't loikin lav, except chutz min anishba, if you take a false oath, o meimar, you make an animal a tmura, v'amekala is chaveru b'shem, you curse somebody with the name of Hashem. In all these cases, it was dibur, and dibur is considered no ma'isa. You get malchus. So we were able to clean up both Reish Lakish and Rav Yochanan, but kasher Rav Yehuda Rav Yehuda, because it seems to, regarding Lav Shein B'Maisa and Hasra Safik, he seems to be opposing himself. So either das Reish Lakish, he can say Trei Tana or leave it Rav Yehuda. There are two Tanoim that are arguing in what Rav Yehuda said. Either Rav Yochanan loy kasher. Hadidei, he has his own opinion. But Rabbi Yossi Aglili has a different opinion. Tanan Hasan. You have a mitzvah of Shiluach HaKein. You find a mother with chicks. So you're supposed to chase the mother bird away before you take the chicks. Now, Hanoi Tilem Alabonim. It says Lo Sikacha Eim Alabonim. Don't take the mother alone. It says Shalech to Shalachas Eim. Rav Yehuda Omer Loikin. He gets malchus because he was oiver. Ve'eno Mishalech. He doesn't have the right to send it away now. Chachamim argue, no. The asay is nitik to the lav, and you can get out of malchus by sending the mother away. Mishalech ve'eno loikin. Ze aklav. Kol mitzvahs la say sheyesh bo kum asay. If connected to the lav is an asay, ein chayav aleh. You don't get Malkus. Or Rav Yochanan. Ein lanu elazos. We have this example of the Shiluach HaKein. V'od acheres, and another example. Or Rabbi Elazar Heicha, which is the other example. Or lechitishkach, go and find out. Nafak dak v'ashka. He went and he found out. The Tanya. Oynes shigiresh. A man rapes a girl. He has a din that he has to marry her, and he can never divorce her. Well, in Yisraelu, so if he divorced her, so he violated the law, but he can rectify it by remarrying her. Machzir ve'ena loike. However, in Koyenhu, who cannot marry a divorcee, he's gotten rid of the opportunity to correct it. Loike ve'ena machzir. He gets Malkus, and he's not allowed to remarry. So we had a debate yesterday that whether when you get Malkus for a lav that's an asay, it depends if kaimo loy kaimo. That means if the person wasn't the kaim the asay right away, right? That means he's low kaimo, then you get Malkus. So it worked. We understand. If the Yisrael marries her right away, good. The Kohen can't marry her, so he gets Malkus. But Elaman the Tani, Bitlo, Velo Bitlo, you only get Malkus if he completely gets rid of the opportunity to complete the Aseh. So, how can you get rid of the possibility that you could kill the chick, you could kill the mother? So there you were Mavatel. Then you would get Malkus. Ela Oines, if you rape a girl and you married her, then you divorced her. Bitlo velo bitlo hechem mishkachsa. How do you get rid of the possibility of ever marrying her? You can always marry her. Now, idiktala, if you killed her, like you killed the mother bird, well, he would not get Malkus for a different reason. He is now going to be adjudicated with a death penalty. And you don't get death and Malkus, at least according to the normative opinion. So on Rav Simon Chazunah, I can give you an example where he prevents the ability of doing the assay. Kigon shekibe lo kiddush me'acher. In the interim, after this guy divorced, the father accepted kiddushin from somebody else, or she accepted kiddushin from somebody else, so he can't marry her. So that's how it could be nullified. But Amar Rav, what do you mean? Isha vise, if she did it, or Isha vise shaliach, if he made him a shaliach to accept the kiddushin, so she's the one that was mavatel the possibility of getting married, not him. So he shouldn't be chayiv, and lo shavise shliach. If he didn't make her shliach, she just received the kiddushin herself. Kol kamine, he has no power to prevent her from accepting kiddushin from somewhere else. And velo klumi. Why should it be a bittul that he should get malchus? El amrav simi min arda kagon shehidir barabim. Publicly, he took a neder that he's not going to have a noah from her, so he can't marry her. So that he'll get rid of the possibility of marrying her, according to those opinions will hold that if you make a public neder, you can't annul it. Fine. But if you can annul it, so let them annul the neder, and then he can marry her. The answer is Madir log al das rabbi. You don't do it in front of the rabbi. You do it with the phraseology al das rabbi. But if you use the terminology al das rabbi, ain't law for, then there's no ability to annul such a neder. Now, Rabbi Yochanan said, Zos v'od acheres. This Shiluach HaKein is the only example and one other. For it more of the Sulek, I'll give you other examples. The ha'ika gezel, stealing, drachmana amar loy sigzol. But it gives you an asay, vehishivas agzela. Or, drachmana amar lo savol beisol avot avoto. If you took a mashkon from a person, like a person's pillow, that's his only pillow, you're not allowed to do it. But it says, Hashev tashiv lo avod k'bo Hashem. At night, give him back the pillow. Umishkachas lo, you get malchus. Even according to the one who says, B'kaimo v'lo kaimo. V'gam b'vitlo v'lo bitlo. In everybody holds you get malchus. Hasam kivin shechai v'tashlumim. Here you have to pay because he took something. Why you get malchus? Because you don't pay and get malchus. Masker of Zera ik mashkona shel ger. If you took collateral from a ger, umesa ger, he has no yorshim. There's no payment, and he doesn't get malchus. Yeah, but Hasam Gavra Bar Tashluminu. He's a person that there's a din for him to pay. The shibud of the kopaka, the shibud of the ger on it has gone away because he died. And that's why he doesn't get malchus. But what about va'ikapeya? The farmer has to leave the four corners of a field intact. And you have a law not to destroy the whole field. But there's a mitzvah say that says, give it to the ani of the ger. Don't destroy the corners. But if you did, la'ani v'lager tazavosam. The mishkachas la b'kiyumo v'lo kiyumo and b'bitlo v'lo bitlo. It's not. Mitzvahs pay alav rishmina kama. The best way of giving payah is to do it when you harvest the wheat. Lo yifish mina kama mafarsh mina oimrim. If you don't give it at the time when it was standing stalks, you give it from the gathered sheaves. Lo yifish mina oimrim mafarsh mina kri. Mafresh mina kri. You pile up the kernels and you give it from that. Achlo mirach. If you haven't smoothed it out on top. If mirchu, Meiser Sakri, you could still give from the Kri, and then first you give Meiser to the Levi, then you give to the Ani, Noisimlo. But if you grind it, the wheat already, you can't give Payah. So that's the way to be Mevatel the mitzvah's Payah. Once you've grinded it, you have no way to return it to the Ani. Why isn't this an example of Rav Yochanan? Rav Yishmael, Damar, Af Mafresh Mina Isa. Even if you make the dough, you can pay it from the dough. What if somebody ate up the dough? It's not left. It's not Mekayim. It's Mevatel. Ella, the Zois Voida Cheres, goes on Peya. Aval Oinus Lo, because we turned out that when you rape, you cannot get rid of the possibility completely of him marrying her again. We said, Madir al das Rabim, Deichamrim al das Rabim Lafar, that's Lidover Rishus. That's if you're doing it not for a mitzvah. Aval Advar mitzvah, then even if he made the neder, al das Rabim Yesh Lafar. So you could always say that he's doing it for a mitzvah to get married. There was a malabed who was fired because he didn't watch them carefully. Adre Rav Acha, and Rav Acha made him take a neder, he's never going to be a teacher again, al das Rabim. But Vahadre Ravina put him back in the position. There was no other teacher that could teach as well as him. So for a tzarech mitzvah, even if you made a neder, al das Rabim, you could annul it. These were examples of averis that you get malchus.
Ernie, hold on a second. So who can mafia the neder? The chacham mafias the neder?
Yes, chacham.
He can't mafia it himself.
Yes, he can. A chacham, an expert in Nedarim, can do it himself.
No, expert, but
Not a regular, not a head yoid, but an expert. We learned in Nedarim. You can have a beis din even of head yoitos. Like when we do Ataras Nedarim by Rosh Hashanah, that's 3 head yoitos. But a mumche can be matir by himself. That's called shelas chacham. You go to a chacham, he can be matir neder. Oichel nevelos treifah shkotzim v'ramashim. Amar Rabbi Raiman she'ochel beidas adebei karpa. They eat a certain fish. Malkinan leim mishum sheretz hasheretz ala aretz lo sochlum. He gets malchus because it's a creepy crawling thing. Hahu she'ochel beidas adebei karpa. Somebody ate this fish. It's in the dunes. V'nagdei Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda gave malchus. Amar Abaya. Achal putisa. Putisa is some kind of like a shrimp or a clam or a lobster. Some kind of sheretz in the water. Loik arba, you get 4 malchuses. Because by sheretz amayim it says, Kol asher ein los napir v'kaskeses. It doesn't have fins and scales. Mipsaram lo sochelu. Then it says, V'chol asher ein los napir v'kaskeses lo sochelu. 2 lavim. Then it says, by shrotzim al tishakzu es nafshosechem b'chol asheretz hasharetz v'lo titemu bahem. So there's 4 lavim. If you ate a namala, an ant, loike chomesh, because you have 2 lavim of sheretz, and then you have v'chol hasharetz hasharetz ala aretz. It says kol hasheretz hasharetz ala aretz lo yeyachel, and there's a pasuk kol hasheretz hasharetz ala aretz lo sochlum, and then it says v'lo sitamus nafshosechem b'chol hasheretz harames al aretz. 5. Tzira, a wasp, loik a sheish, 6 malchus, because it's like an ant, and mishum sheretz ha'of, and it has v'chol sheretz ha'of tameu lachem, lo yeyachlu, don't eat. Amar v'choy, hamashas nekava, he holds back his urine to go to the bathroom. Oiver mishum lo tishaktzenus nafshosechem. You're over a lav. Somebody who drinks from a bloodletter's instrument that he pricks people. You've done a disgusting thing. Risik tisha nemalim. You chopped up 9 ants. Ve'evi echad chayin. You brought 1 live ant, and now ishlimin lekazayis. The 9 plus 1 makes a kazayis. Loy kasheish, 6 malchus. Chomesh mishum beria. We said this. If you eat a namala, right? It's a creature. We said you get 5. The echad mishum kazayis nevela, and then 9 of them plus that one is considered a nevela. Rav Rav Yechla filu shnayim. Even 2 chopped up ants, the who and the live ant, you also get malchus. Rav Yosef afilu echad v'hu, 1 chopped up ant and the live ant. V'lo pligi, haberavari. It depends if it's a kazayas or not. If it's a big ant, it might be a kazayas just 1. V'habezut, if it's small, it needs 9. Ochal tevel u'maiser rishon. If you ate produce that Trumas and Maisers were not given, or you ate Maiser Rishon and you're not a Levi, so Omer of Achal Tevel Shel Maiser Oni, that means there's Tevel and you haven't given the Maiser to the Aniyim yet, Loike. Even though Truma and Maiser Rishon were given, because there's 3 Maisers: Truma, Maiser Rishon, Maiser Oni, Maiser Rishon. Keman ki aitan, the Tanya. Amar Rav Yossi. Yachol yechayv el tevel shlohur mimeno kol ikar. I might think you're only chayiv for eating tevel that nothing's been taken, but hur mimeno truma gedoyla. The Kohen's truma was taken, but the lohur mimeno meiser rishon, you didn't give it to the Levi, or you gave it to meiser rishon, but below meiser sheni. Vafilu meiser oni. You didn't give the Meiser Ani, minayin, that you get Malkus. Talmud Omer, lo sucha lechol bisharecha, masar digoncha tiroshcha b'tzarecha. Ulalanu oimer, v'nosata lalevi lager liyasom v'lamanav achlu bisharecha v'saveyu. Ma laholon, the v'achlu bisharecha is Meiser Ani. Avkan is Meiser Ani. Amar Rachmana lo suchal. So there's an Isser Lav. Amar Rav Yosef, Kitanoi, this is a Machlokes Tanoi. Rav Eliezer Omer, ein tzarich likros es Hashem, al Meiser Ani shel Demai. You have produce, we're not sure whether Trumas or Meisers were given. You don't have to give Meiser Ani from Demai. We give Trumas and regular Meisers, but not Meiser Ani. Because the Meiser Ani is just a monetary responsibility. Mas Masofek, since he doesn't have full proof, you can't, he won't get paid. Okay, we'll stop here.
What time tomorrow in Young Israel?
What time did we say Mincha is?
Now the rabbi will give a shir at 6:10.
Okay, so we'll do it at let me see the blot.
Not short. Well, yes.
No, it is pretty short.
Yeah.
We can meet at 5:30. I think 40 minutes will be enough.
Okay, 5:30 tomorrow. Okay, shkoyach Ernie.
Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbos, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Mario.
Yes.